What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Baroshmo. Just in case you did not know, so I'm back again once again with a mock draft with trades, because trades is all the fad. So we're gonna do a first round mock with trades. I will be doing a live stream later today with Walk the Mock. So if you're a premium member there, you can join me, and we're gonna be doing, I believe, a 3-round mock draft with trades. So if you want to join me for that and mock against me, hey, it's a ton of fun. If you're not a premium member but you want to be there, use the promo code BROSHMO, all caps, gets you 20% off. So if you're interested in that, go ahead, but leave a comment down below. Get involved in that nice, sensual football discourse. It's good stuff. But without further ado, let's get in and do the nitty gritty. Let's do the darn thing. And first, I do have a trade in the top 5. So let's first address that. I got the 49ers trading up, as you can see. Oh, it shows you the players you pick. Oh, well, screw it. We'll keep it going. The 49ers trading up with the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to be getting a 4th rounder in this draft as well as a 1st. And the Falcons, they get a 1st this year and next year, a 3rd next year, the 2nd this year, and then they'll end up grabbing a 5th as well. So overall, I mean, just acquiring more picks, and then they end up dressing the defense, but we'll get to that when it happens. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first picks here. We got Trevor Lawrence. Chalk it in. It's going to happen. Trevor Lawrence going to the Jags. Don't really need to talk about that. The Jets go with Sam Darnold. Zach Wilson. They're going to trade away Sam Darnold. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I'm being brainwashed by Mel Kiper, man. But I know some people are on the, hey, just give Sam some help. Again, I just think it's better to move on. Like, financially, you just get a guy on a rookie deal opposed to having to probably extend Sam Darnold. And if things don't go well, then will you be in the quarterback market next year? Will you be in the top 5? I don't know. I think that team will be much better next year. Maybe top 10. I don't know about top 5. I feel like you're risking it in a class of a very, very good quarterback class here in 2021. So just go Sam Darnold. The Miami Dolphins, I think I am firmly, if we don't trade out, in the Penny Sewell. I guess Dolphins picking Penny Sewell. I think they will be active in the free agent, wide receiver free agent market, whether it's Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin. You could even throw maybe Will Fuller there. And I had T.Y. Hilton kind of being like their consolation prize if they couldn't nail any of those guys. But I think they'll be active in the free agent market at wide receiver. So I think they could go Penei Sewell, especially with Eric Studesville as now the co-offensive coordinator there. I think they'll try to incorporate a bit more in the run game, and they'll probably maybe draft a running back, if not with their next pick in the first round or in the second round. So we'll see about that, but yeah, 49ers, they grab their guy. They're not going to keep Jimmy G, man. He just costs too much. I know, hey, they've said Jimmy G is their guy. Of course they would, though. Of course they would. They're not currently in position to draft a quarterback or one of the top 3 to 4 quarterbacks in this draft. Of course they're going to say Jimmy G's their guy. They're not going to go out and be like, nah, Jimmy G ain't our guy. We're making moves. That's just not good for the paparazzi. So they go ahead, they get their guy, they move on from Jimmy G, they relieve themselves of a ton of cap space. So yeah, Jamar Chase going to the Bengals. I like the idea of reuniting Burrow and Chase. And yes, the Bengals, they need offensive line help, but they could probably address that in free agency. I know Cincinnati is not a great market, but I think it will be, man. Joe Burrow, man, he's gonna switch things up. People are gonna want to play in Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is gonna bring in a couple of offensive linemen through free agency. I think Joe Thuney is. I have a feeling Joe Thuney is going to be a Bengal next year. I just have a strong feeling. So they go Jamar Chase. I like this. You get Chase, you get Tyler Boyd, you have T. Higgins. That's scary at receiver. You get your boy Burrow weapons. Kyle Pitts going to the Eagles, opposed to Devontae Smith. I think Pitts, you could still do the 2 tight end system, the whole 12 personnel. there with Pitts and with Dallas Goedert, but Pitts isn't just a standard tight end. He's one of the best tight end prospects we've seen in quite some time, but he's not just a standard tight end. You can kick this guy to the outside. He can be your big Alshon Jeffrey-esque receiver. Not saying there's a lot of similarities, but in terms of a big receiver, you got a jumbo receiver in Kyle Pitts to be opposite of Jalen Reagor. So I'm coming around to Pitts being the pick here for the Eagles, but I do have a trade going on at 7, and I got the Denver Broncos trading up 2 spots ahead of the Panthers to grab their quarterback of the future. They're giving up a 3rd rounder as well as a 7th rounder. And the Lions, they eventually trade down and, as you see, get Micah Parsons. But yeah, Trey Lance, man. I don't know how many of y'all think Drew Lock's the answer. I don't think he is. I don't know if any of y'all think Drew Lock is the answer. But Trey Lance has just got better upside. I think he's going to be very popular. He could go anywhere from 4 to, I think, 8. Just because, again, we saw the success with Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming, but a huge arm, great athletic ability. Trey Lance is kind of similar in that manner. So I think the Broncos snag him. Carolina Panthers couldn't get a quarterback. Man, I really don't think Deshaun Watson is coming to Carolina. It'd be nice though. But I think with no quarterback here available at that pick, unless y'all are sold on Mac Jones, I think they go corner. Their top 2 corners, Rasul Douglas, Elder Corn. They're both free agents. Troy Pride Jr. had his struggles, but keep in mind he was a rookie. So I think they bring in Farley, who I think Farley's almost going to be guaranteed top 10. Just he has those elite shutdown corner back traits. So I think he could be in the market. I think he could be in a play here for the Panthers. Micah Parsons going to the Detroit Lions. They could go receiver with Smith and Waddle on the board, but I have a feeling, much like last year, we'll see receivers drop. I mean, keep in mind, man, I had, I think, Judy and Lamb at like 6 and 7 on my big board. They fell to 16, 17. So I don't think we're going to see as much as a fall at the receiver position as we did last year, but I think maybe a fall out of the top 10 at the very least. And Micah Parsons, he can be a pass rusher. He gives them a lot of versatility at the linebacker position. And keep in mind, this is a rebuild for Detroit. So just grab whoever the top guy is on your board. They were able to trade down, acquire picks. So I think this is good for Detroit. Dallas Cowboys go Rashawn Slater opposed to Patrick Surtain. As you saw, Surtain went to Atlanta. Man, I don't know how exactly to feel about Surtain currently. I have Slater higher on my board. Just Surtain, man, it really depends how he tests out at his virtual combine. But even then, man, I don't know. I want to believe in the 3 years of elite play in the SEC, like I did with Cameron Dantzler. But I think the Cowboys, they could go Rashawn Slater, who gives them maybe a little versatility along the offensive line and a potential replacement for Tyron Smith in the future. So I think Slater, he could be the play here. I think Micah Parsons also, if he falls to this pick, is a sleeper candidate for the Cowboys here. But I ended up going with Slater. Don't hate me. I know they need cornerback help. I get it. And then on to the next bit of picks. That's right, we got more trades. So let's go ahead and talk about these, because these are my last 2 trades. So I have the Arizona Cardinals trading up to 13, trading up 3 spots. And basically they're giving their third, they're getting the third, or they're giving up their third to the Chargers. The Chargers give up a 7th, but the Chargers are also moving up 20 spots in the 3rd round. So that's why I had to include the 7th. Blame it on the whole trade value system they got here on Draft Network if you don't like the trade. But they move up to get that receiver that can stretch the field vertically and that can be a monster underneath for Kyler Murray. And then I have the Bears trading up with the Patriots. I'm pretty adamant the Patriots make a move in free agency at quarterback, whether it's Justin Winston, or Andy Dalton, someone else, maybe Dak if he hits free agency. I think they make a move in the offseason, not in the draft. So they trade out. Essentially, they turn their fourth into a third. And then the Bears, they trade up, how many spots? 5 spots, and give up their third rounder to get their quarterback. And we'll get into that when we get into that. So the Giants, they get Devontae Smith. Here, I might as well just throw that up there. Devontae Smith, give Danny Dimes a chance. Get him playmakers. Smith, wonderful route runner. Dude is one of the most his style. He's very physical at the catch point. Very physical at the line of scrimmage with his get off. He's got a variety of get off moves. So good there. Patrick Surtain to the Falcons, so they add some help in the secondary as well as acquiring picks. And if they don't think they're in the quarterback market in this draft, they don't have to be. They could trade down, acquire more picks, stick with Matt Ryan. And then the Cardinals, I kind of explained why they traded up to get Waddle, just an explosive weapon there. Minnesota Vikings go Christian Darrisaw. I really believe Riley Reif's going to end up being a cap casualty. And they get Darrisaw, they can immediately plug and play him there at left tackle. So I like that pick there. Mac Jones to the Bears. Nick Foles is the only quarterback on the roster. Mitch Trubisky has yet to be brought back. And even if they did, ew. Come on, Bears fans. I'm willing to take a shot at Mac Jones to save your career, Ryan Pace, I guess. To save your job. But I think Mac Jones honestly is a better quarterback than Mitch and better than Foles. The guy's very poised. He's pinpoint accuracy. He's just throws with great anticipation. A lot of people may not like his middle and arm strength, but you don't need that to succeed in the NFL. So from what we saw throughout the season at Alabama, granted there's some stuff there where it's okay, a lot of his receivers were extremely open, but I mean, at that point you're just a victim of circumstance. I can't help it. My receivers are so good, But I think he really showed the necessary poise during the Senior Bowl practices to be yeah, okay, this guy could be a top 20, top 15 pick. Elijah Vera Tucker going to the Chargers. They trade down, acquire picks. I was kind of hoping maybe Darrisaw would make it here, but Elijah Vera Tucker's fine. A guy that could potentially play left tackle. He has experience at it, but still probably translates best at guard. I think Chargers are going to be very active in the offensive line free agency market, so I really believe that they will do that. They may acquire a tackle and a center there, so Vera Tucker kind of fills the line for them. And then let's keep this going. No more trades. Christian Barmore going to the Raiders. Quiddy Pay could have been the pick here, but when I did that free agency video, I really think Melvin Ingram might end up being a Raider. I think that's a great pick, and at that point, great pickup. I think with his with him being so familiar with Gus Bradley. Then you also have Max Crosby. You have Cleveland Farrell. So they could go interior here. Get a guy next to Hurst like Christian Barmore, and that's a very scary defensive line. And then Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, he's starting to feel like the lazy pick here, just because it's with so many guys off the board, it's oh man. Where can we really go? And I'm just a big JOK fan. I think he can, whether he plays in the slot or plays that where Brandon Jones played last year, if they really think that maybe he can maybe be just a box safety. He gives you a variety of different things he can do, and I think Brian Flores would really be able to utilize him well. And then the Washington football team, they go Rashad Bateman. Offensive tackle didn't fall here. Offensive line in general. I think receiver, I've been a big advocate of Kadarius Toney here, but I love Rashad Bateman, man. Him next to Scary Terry, I think is just Mwah. And then the New England Patriots, they trade down and they get J.C. Horn because J.C. Jackson, I believe, is a free agent this season. And I mean, we don't know. Stephon Gilmore has been rumored to be on the trade block. I don't know if there's any facts to that. So they could bring back J.C. Jackson and realistically move on from Gilmore. Regardless, J.C. Horn's a good fit for this defense. So I went with him here. Patriots, I know they're trading down. They have to trade down, right? It's just the Patriot thing to do. It's just kind of hard to determine where they may go in this draft. And then Kwity Paye to the Colts. Edge rusher, I think, is a huge need. I think they'll bring in maybe a few receivers in free agency, but I think acquiring one of the top edge talents in this class will be vital. I think they will do that with their first pick if it's not receiver. So, and with Rashad Bateman off the board, I didn't really want to pick up a Kadarius Toney, a Rondale Moore, or Elijah Moore with this pick. I just don't feel like those guys fit. And Kwity Paye, I have him like 16th on my board, so this is very good value for the Colts. On to the next few picks here. The Tennessee Titans go Jalen Phillips. I saw this on Mel Kiper's board, and I was like, you know what? At 22, I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit here and go with Phillips. He does have that top 15, top 10 potential. The concussions, they haven't been a concern for the last 2 years. So as long as everything checks out medically with him, I don't see why a team won't take a shot on him. So he could go earlier than this, but we'll see. Titans, they need pass rush. I think they're solid at corner. I think they have a good cornerback room. Some people may not think so. I think so. I think they definitely need pass rush help. I don't care how good your cornerback room is. You leave them on an island for 7 to 10 seconds. Shoot, 5 to 7 seconds. People are going to get open. It's just the case. New York Jets, this one was tough. I was thinking maybe trading down, but Jason Owe, they need help. They need edge rush help. So Owe, people shouldn't draw the connection to D Ford because Owe is much bigger. I think he's much more athletic in terms of his straight line speed, and he was a solid run defender in 2020. So while he may not be a fully polished prospect by any means, I think this would be a good pick for the Jets defense here. Pittsburgh Steelers, I just feel like this is probably more predictive than anything. This isn't exactly what I would do, but I think this pick's either going to come down to one of the two Alabama players, Najee Harris or Landon Dickerson. At least that's my current state of mind. So I ended up going with Dickerson here. My only problem is Dickerson won't be able to play probably till halfway through the season, maybe even like the last quarter of this season, just because he had the ACL injury in the playoffs. So yeah, man. Or was it the playoffs? No, it was the SEC championship game, I think. But I mean, hey, center's a big need right now with Pouncey retiring. Gregory Rousseau to the Jags. You may be thinking, we don't need edge rusher. I don't see him as an edge rusher currently. I see him more as like that 5 tech. And rumor the Jaguars, they may be moving to more like a more hybrid-esque scheme between 4-3 and 3-4, or maybe they're moving closer to a 3-4. Regardless, they have their zero tech nose tackle in Hamilton, and you got your pass rushers there in Josh Allen and Clayvon Chason. There we go. And so what do they do there at the 5 tech position? I think Rousseau, if like his best, like he was at his best rushing from the interior. Like he really was having trouble bending the edge. Keep in mind, this was his first season as a starter. It was literally his freshman season, redshirt freshman. But he was exceptionally new to the edge rushing position. You know, he used to be a safety wide receiver. So yeah, a lot of what he does is going to be exceptionally raw. But what he did from the interior, he was also a solid run defender. I think he could be a 5 tech. So that's why I think he's got great physical upside. It really depends on what his size is, and we'll find that out in the next few weeks with these virtual combines and such. Mel Kiper did this. Zaven Collins to the Browns, and how he explained it, I was like, I could get behind this. I could get behind this. Whether you see him as a potential pass rusher or even as a off-ball linebacker, he has a very interesting and unique skill set. So, I mean, he could potentially fill 2 roles for the Browns. So, it'll be interesting to see. I think somehow Zaven Collins finds his way in the first round. It'll just be interesting where he goes because he does feel very very role specific. Baltimore Ravens, Tevin Jenkins. I really like this pick. I feel like it's going to be mocked a lot. Jenkins played a majority of his snaps at right tackle there at Oklahoma State. Plays with the good nastiness, good strength, ragdoll a lot of guys there. Be an immediate replacement for Orlando Brown. Because I still think that team's going to be still very run-heavy, run-oriented when it comes to their offensive game plan. This helps with that. Marcus Williams is a free agent. Trevon Merrick, great pick, dude. He's the top safety in this class. I love the guy a lot. Kadarius Toney going to Green Bay. This is more so like, hey, thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for putting up an MVP season. Let's get you a receiver. He's a little bit different than what they have at receiver compared to like Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard, who's more of a deep threat, and even when he's more of an outside guy, whether it's like zip route or out route, like that's how he attacks the short to intermediate, is around the outside. While Toney could really, he'll kill teams underneath, just short, intermediate, in the middle of the field, and how he could create after the catch. I think Toney's a bit different than what they have in that receiver room. And you could be like, well, Aaron Rodgers did just fine with the weapons he had last season. It's like, yeah, but I mean, what's wrong with improving? Like, what's wrong with adding competition? What's wrong with adding talent to the position? I mean, you could go corner here, maybe Asante Samuel, but Toney's higher on my board, maybe pass rush, but Toney's higher on my board. Opposed to Azeez Ojulari, but I don't think he fits Green Bay's scheme. And then, speaking of the devil, here's Asante Samuel. Let's go over these last picks here. Asante Samuel Jr. going to the Bills. This could be a Greg Newsome, but I have Samuel rated much higher. I think he's a good scheme fit, much like Newsome would be for the Bills. So I like him here. Size be darned, man. This guy's got elite athleticism. Dylan Raduns going to the Chiefs. They could go a variety of different ways, but I think to kind of like make more cap space so they can maybe make a few moves in free agency, they might get rid of Eric Fisher. Even if they don't, Mitchell Schwartz, it's not a for sure thing if he comes back. Back injury, it's kind of severe when it comes to talking about the offensive line. I know they have Lucas Naeem, but there's no reason to bring in future talent. I don't think Eric Fisher is the future, at least in the next couple of seasons. Whether it's this year or next year, I think he won't be on the squad. So they get Raduns, who was just a monster at the Senior Bowl, had the highest win rate of any of the offensive linemen. Azeez Ojulari will be the replacement for Shaq Barrett. I don't think they'll be able to bring him back on an extension, even if he wants to come back. I just financially don't think they can do it. I think they will franchise tag Chris Godwin, and then they'll bring back Devontae David and Sue on like hometown deals, more so like, hey, Brady's there, so Brady friendly deals, I guess. Just to play again with Brady and make another run at it. So Azeez is amazing. He's one of my favorite prospects in this class. I have him much higher on my board, but I think realistically his range might be around here when we actually get to the NFL. So yeah, you let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing, and until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.